Welcome back to another episode of One Kick from Glory. My name is Clive. I'm of course always joined by Matthew on my left.
Good evening.
And we've got Craig on my further left.
Yeah.
This week, I have to start off with a little song for you guys. Ollie's at the wheel, Ollie's at the wheel. Na 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 na. Ollie's at the wheel, Ollie's at the wheel. Na 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 na. Ollie's at the wheel. So of course we're going to start off with the game, the biggest game of the weekend, the game that, to be honest, has led to a lot of debate. It's continued that conversation as to how things are going to go. Man United got absolutely demolished by Liverpool 5-0 at home. I'm going to jump over to you, Matthew. Did you watch the game live?
I did.
Talk me through the game. Talk me through what you saw and talk me through how you felt just watching that as a neutral.
I was worried for a bit because I thought that this is the perfect result for him to try and pick up something after the poor form they've had. It could have been like, oh great, here we go. He's going to nick a cheeky 2-1, 1-0. Didn't happen. Thank goodness. From the minute, even after they had one chance. And after that, as soon as they scored, it was business as usual. I'm thinking, okay, they might come back. And the second goal, maybe not. Third goal. And then, well, we all know what happened. 4, 5. It was, I didn't know, the scores in the Premier League this weekend. I didn't know we were playing cricket or American football or even rugby. Never mind going goal. It was more like try or touchdown or something. But to watch from a neutral perspective, it was absolutely unbelievable. I know Liverpool are good, but it almost looked like they didn't get out of the second gear almost. They were just kind of just running on pure, just taking on United from all the mistakes they were making. And it was said from other pundits that as soon as Man United, because this is their first real big test this season, as soon as they play a proper team who are properly organised with players in form, I have to touch on Salah scoring a hat-trick as well. So many hat-tricks this weekend. He scored a hat-trick against United. At United? Like, really? But when you play a proper team who are set up, you're going to get punished. And, well, that's exactly what happened. So, very good and great entertainment from a so-called title rival, if you want to call them that. But, yeah, if it keeps him in the job for that little bit longer, I ain't got no problem with it, to be honest.
And for you, Craig, what was your take on the game when you watched it?
The tactics were wrong. He played into Liverpool's hands. He didn't have the midfield, wrong selection. He didn't start Pogba. He instead of him playing, so he played too many attacking players. I'd have put 3 in midfield, and because he played all the attackers, he played Ronaldo, he played Fernandes, he played Rashford, he played Greenwood. That fell straight into Liverpool's hand. All Liverpool had to do was just beat them on the counter attack, and that's exactly what happened. Salah had a field day.
He was loving it.
He teared a new one into a lot of their midfielders and defenders. So it was just like watching they never played together.
Like a playground, isn't it?
Yeah, like in a playground when you're a young kid in the playground, don't know any positional sense or anything. You just run up and down everywhere, left, right, centre. It was like that, literally. It was just embarrassing to watch. As a neutral fan, I was like, wow. I was watching with my friend and he was not happy.
I think that's the major concerning thing with this performance is that it's another big game. Man United have not performed, and as the season's been going on, we've been the season started and there was a massive talk about Man United being title favourites. That's before Ronaldo joined. Ronaldo's arrival, the expectations have gone up to a whole nother level. You look at this game, you look at how it's panned out. You look at not just the losing to Liverpool's not a major thing, right? All of our teams can sit back and say we've been beaten by them at least at one point in time, and they've just been better than us. It's the way in which Liverpool have lost.
Man United.
It's the way Man United have lost. It's the performance. It's the way the players seem to down tools.
Yeah.
For you, Matthew, looking at that now, do you think the question marks over the head coach are really going to intensify now?
They've been intensifying for a very long time. We all knew this was coming, despite the revivals of the players like your Ronaldos, your Varans, even the players in the past. He's got Van der Beek. I mean, if people still remember who he is and where he is, Van der Beek. Let us know if you're still okay, mate. Please let us know. We're getting worried. Who else? Who else did they purchase? Sancho as well.
73 million.
I mean, look how much. I mean, I know we could talk right now. Yes, he is. It does have to be answered. We were just talking before recording. Mourinho and Van Gaal got fired for less than this, and I don't think they spent even half as much.
Absolutely not.
And they're way more experienced managers as well. But from when the mistake they made to what it is now, because a lot of people can saw this coming, but Man United fans are far too loyal for someone who's not provided. the writing was on the wall in the Champions League game against PSG. Remember the one that they won? The writing was on the wall from there. The writing was on the wall from then. The mistake they made was hiring him after that result. They should have tested it towards the end of the season. Well, I think they got knocked out of the Champions League anyway. I don't think they made the top 4.
No,
so on that account, you would have been like, "No, sorry, you're not doing it," and then things might have been okay. But they rode that wave of rose-tinted spectacles, heart overhead, pure. This was an emotional hire as well as a cheap hire because he's not going to raise too much of a thing. He's not that experienced, and he's a club legend. And people will get behind that, and some people still will even after this. But you have to admit, another club. I use this example because it's true. At Chelsea, he would have been long gone by now.
Absolutely.
After all the money spent, when you got Ronaldo on your team, serial winner. You've got Varane on your team, serial winner. I know he's not his player, but again, Pogba serial winner, and this is the best that you're getting.
And I think the hard thing for those players in particular is that when you've come from, I guess for Ronaldo and Varane, you've come from clubs who have an established standard of winning. Pogba, you've come off the back of for your country. The previous summer, you had won the
World Cup.
The Euros campaign didn't quite go as well, but you've got that winning kind of flow, and you want to bring that to club level. You don't want to feel like my club form, my club football is I'm just here making up numbers, and it must just be so hard. And I often sit back and think, does he still have the dressing room? Do you think he has a dressing room still, Craig?
No, he's lost the dressing room.
You think so?
100%. The players not playing for him anymore. I know they won last week in the Champions League against Atlanta, but just about. That on another day, Atlanta could have scored 5 or 6 goals. Their defense was just getting ripped to shreds. So I feel some players are still backing him, 1 or 2, but I think he's lost the dressing room.
You honestly think he's lost the dressing room?
I think he's lost the dressing room.
I think he's McFred.
Do you know why I know he lost the dressing room? Because when he brought on Pogba the other day, when Pogba got sent off, it was just the way how Pogba walked off the pitch. He looked like a man that was just broken. He didn't look like a player that was angry, upset. He just looked like, you know what? I had enough of this manager. You know when you get sent off, you're emotional. He didn't look emotional when he came off. He just walked off the pitch like, whatever.
But I wonder if that's because of the fact that he was brought on to
change the game.
I don't know.
It was 4-0. It was 4-0 down
to do something.
It's 4-0 down. There's nothing he can do. The game was already won anyway for Liverpool. So what else could he have done? He could have stopped him from scoring a 5th, but no, he got sent off. So.
Ask Souness. Ask Souness. He might know.
I mean, the goal they conceded when the ball was bounced into him by Fred, and he tried to he tried to obviously trap it with his foot and roll it, but Liverpool just pressed him so quickly and lost the ball. That's an unfortunate goal to concede because what's annoying is like Fred should have picked another pass, but at the same time, I know like Pogba's got that ability to hit that ball first time around the corner. Like a first time ball off to his right, it would have been a blind pass, but it would have actually gone out to Bruno in that space. So I think the biggest issue is that we looking at it, and you can ask Man United fans, the Fred McFred as they call them, that partnership middle of the park, it doesn't work.
Don't work.
And the fact that Paul, let's talk about Paul Scholes for a second. I mean, he had a lot of controversy this week after an Instagram video of him showing love.
So is that what we'll call it?
I mean, it might be a new love language. I don't know. But before that, he rightfully said if Man United play the same way that they did against Atlanta, they will get ripped apart. Liverpool get in time and time again.
Yeah.
And of course, he had the Instagram video dropped of him, like I said, expressing the form of love in a strange way. And this has just been great because he's been proved right, and 2, no one's talking about him anymore and the whole incident. So, but it just goes to show that I don't know how the ownership of Man United can sit back and feel like this is good enough, unless if the coach they want isn't available, or maybe the influence for Alex Ferguson is saying, look, let's give him a bit more time because they key something. I don't know. But we say all of this. Funny thing with this league is it takes a few weeks. few games and your situation can turn around. You can look down and out. You can look like you're well off the pace.
Yeah.
And you go on a run of a few games and things can turn around.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, for us personally, like, we don't want it to change. Like,
No.
you stay at the wheel as long as you need.
Please do.
It doesn't really change much for us. But
We'll pay
like
the
I was saying,
petrol,
like, things can turn around very quickly. And, you know, with teams, your fortunes can go up and down. We're going to switch our focus over to the new money bags, Newcastle United. They drew against Crystal Palace 1-1. Callum Wilson showing time and time again that he is kind of showing the new ownership that I am the man to lead this line. And I think they played really resolutely. I think Crystal Palace need to definitely sharpen up in their attacking play because there's a lot of chances. There's a lot of goals that are left on the pitch. But for Newcastle, I think that's the kind of performance you look at. I think, okay, we can kind of build on this now. For you, Craig, what would you say, like, because obviously we're looking forward to January and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There was this massive thing where a lot of the Premier League clubs met behind their back trying to restrict
From spending.
the spending Newcastle can do, which I think is unfair. It's
not nice.
The horse is bolted. There's other teams that needed that put in place earlier that hasn't been done.
Like Chelsea.
You
And
know, like
other
Chelsea,
clubs,
like
Man
City and
yeah.
others. But let's focus on Newcastle now. So what would you say? Obviously, the big thing is who they're going to appoint as a manager. We had some names we suggested last podcast, and we'll see how it kind of goes. But as looking at them going forward, what do you think needs to be done to kind of make this project work? I'm just talking about from like now through till January.
They need to make sure they can get enough points on the board towards now in January. Try not to lose too many games and try and get as much points as possible. Even get 3 or 4, get 3 points and get a couple of draws. Don't lose in too many games and try and stay above the relegation zone until January. They can rebuild.
Yeah, because they're 19th right now. They're 3 points out of the drop zone.
Yeah,
they have a -9 goal difference. Leeds are on 7 points in 17th with -8 goal difference and 7 points. So it is possible for them to pick up those wins. I guess the key thing now is, like you're saying, they just need to keep getting it going.
And I think what they need to do in January, they need to sort out the defence. They conceding too many sloppy goals. The defence is a big problem. I feel if they can get, I have older defenders like Lucas. I like Lascelles. I think he's a very good defender. I think they need to get someone next to him, like an experienced player next to him. Maybe a new back 3 or 4. Get a decent solid right back, solid left back,
Solid centre back.
solid centre back who can defend. They've got good goalkeepers. Their goalkeepers are very good. I think their midfield, they need to sharpen their midfield. They got Willock. I would build a midfield around Willock. Get someone get 2 good holders against Willock if they're playing 3 in midfield. Get 2 good DMs. Get 2 good wingers and get another 2 strikers or 1 striker to back up to Wilson. Wilson will score the goals, but his injury record is horrendous. He's always getting injured, so you need someone that can help, who can heavy the load off him.
Yeah.
So if he needs to rest him for a couple of games, you got someone else who come in instantly and score goals. And the players that will go is the ones who are not good enough for the club anymore.
Well, I think the big thing, like we said before, is even if it's a case of clearing out those players that are not good, it's going to be hard to do it in January. They may have to do half of that. Not even half. They can get out who they can get out in January, and then the rest will have to be in the summer. But hopefully, at that point in time, they will be in the Premier League still,
position,
and at least looking at where they are now, if they can climb up the table and finish about 14th, which that would be a massive turnaround.
When they are,
if they can climb to 14th, end the season in 14th, and having some games where you sit back and think, "Ooh, Newcastle, this is quite a project." Then I think they could be on for a good shout. I guess the big question then for you, Matthew, is like, obviously we said some players they could get last time around. Thinking about like everything that's going on, even the players you suggested for that 100 mil, is there any other names you think would probably be a better fit, or is there who January 1st comes, who should be coming through the door at Newcastle?
The very, very first signing. The first signing for me is, like Craig said, it's probably a defender. Because, like it said, their options are limited for really good Premier League standard defenders. I know they got Lascelles, who's been there before. He is a captain. He's quite young, so he's got time to. He still can
develop and improve.
I think he's quite injury prone too. I'm not entirely sure, but I think one thing they do need is some good, solid defenders. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a holding. I merely suggested holding because I was trying to do what's best for both parties.
No, of course.
So you losing holding,
we would happily let him go to Newcastle,
but it creates a hole for you to fill with
William Saliba.
William Saliba.
But then the ironic thing is, last season we had Newcastle had offered us. Actually, no, Rob Holding was on his way to Newcastle on loan for the season, and he got vetoed by our wonderful manager for reasons I couldn't even begin to explain. And then William Saliba got shafted and then didn't go out on loan until January as a result. So
That's annoying, yeah.
But the fact that there was interest there in the past, that would be a good deal for both of them. I mean, Rob Holding's hair transplant is coming through really nicely. His hairline looks immaculate. The trim is it's adding levels to the trim. So I think that's a good move for him up there.
Yeah, I mean, him, there's also Chambers, there's also other defenders like young defenders. Chelsea's loan system is through the roof. They can loan some defenders.
Have you got anyone that you would send up there? Because it's a tough one. Because in a weird way, like,
tough.
I'm really glad, like, Conor Gallagher, for example, at Palace right now, that is a really great loan. Keeps him in London at a team that plays progressive football. From coming from West Brom, where he played more, it was more of a combative football, so you couldn't really see his best qualities. And I think maybe for some people, the jury was a bit out in terms of like, how good is he? Can he really adapt to this level? Is it going to work? But he's proven with this loan that actually he's capable of doing that job. So I think it's really interesting to see like how it's going to pan out for him. And I kind of wonder if there's a player like that Newcastle could pick up, a kind of progressive ball player and midfielder that could just add a bit of flair.
Progressive ball playing midfielder.
It's going to be tough.
Newcastle again. I don't know if I'd make that priority. I just think they need to stop conceding, because I don't think they've actually kept a clean sheet this whole entire time.
No.
Which, if you're trying to stay up and
that's the first thing,
and look good for your new owners, first of all, survive. Absolutely survive. So the first players that do come through the door, get them the standard of defending, and then after that, you can start getting in the more. Even if they finish 16th, let's say, and I don't think they will finish 16th, but it could. You get there, then you can start adding on top, and then get more experienced defenders on top. So, I mean, I can't think of other centre backs in the Premier League who would go for, unless they're willing to pay that kind of money for them, or they go into the foreign market, like the fringes of Italy and Spain, Germany, or Holland, try and get someone from there. And I think absolutely 100% would be this defence. Allow the front players to go off and do their thing, like your Wilsons, like your Willocks, like your St. Maximans. Let them go off and do their thing and just get some wins. They need to start winning. They've got Chelsea coming up. Not gonna lie, that's probably not a likely place you're gonna get a win. No. Focus on a win where you can get it against a team like a Palace.
Having said that, though,
you can win.
Is it at the Bridge?
No.
Oh, it's up St. James's. Having said that, it would not, as crazy as it would seem, like now looking at it, it would not surprise me if they pulled off the cheekiest of 1-0s.
Have you ever heard of Charity FC before?
Yeah, I know you guys do it. Every season, you just have that one game and everyone will be like, what happened?
One? It could be free. Last year, we gave you one last year with Charity FC for you last year.
No. We earned that win. We earned that win. You hear that? We earned that win.
But I see what you mean though. Charity FC could rear its ugly head, because we had Norwich, Burnley and Newcastle in the next 3 games. These for me are 100% wins, but you never predict the Premier League like that. You never could. They've already started. I mean, I know they lost against Tottenham. They were really good, quite unlucky not to win against Crystal Palace. So at least with new bloods, with new owners, they're really showing that what they can do. So you never know, the win could come sooner, could come before the end of next month. You never know.
That's true.
Just not against Chelsea.
And speaking of Tottenham, another game week, another defeat. I mean, we've said it before, but the longer Kane stays there, it's just looking a bit embarrassing now, isn't it?
Don't forget that question, yeah.
But yeah, for you, Craig, like, I mean, okay, one, West Ham. I think we all have to give them a clap,
absolutely,
for 2 reasons. One, it's very, very hard to go from playing European games in midweek to playing on a Premier League on the weekend and to maintain the standards of performances. One will suffer. Leicester last season, when they got into Europe, we saw that they really struggled in the league in games.
Yeah.
Burnley almost got relegated when they had that Europa League run. They thought it was happy days. We were in Europe. It's like, oh no, bro. You see, it's not easy.
Even Southampton struggled years ago.
Southampton years ago struggled, so it's difficult. But West Ham are just taking to it like a duck on water. Like, they had one bad game where they lost in the European game, and then the league game they kind of had a bit of wobble. But aside from that, they've been really, really solid. So hats off to them. Brilliant start to the season.
Absolutely.
I mean, looking at it for West Ham fans, like, how do you think this must feel for them? Like,
I mean, West Ham have got Tottenham's number now. It's 3 wins in a row for West Ham against Tottenham now. And people have to realise that West Ham, like, if you want me to compare Tottenham and West Ham, who's got the better squad? I have to be honest with you, West Ham's got the better squad.
you think West Ham has a better squad than Tottenham?
I think so.
Oof.
People might say, well, I'm being deluded here, but don't lie.
When you say squad, are you talking about the entire squad, or are you talking about the starting 11?
Starting 11.
You think West Ham's starting 11 is better than Tottenham's?
Well, they beat them.
All right.
They beat them, and Antonio looks more hungry than Kane. Then,
Well, I mean, that's not hard. Kane wants to leave.
Yeah.
And Antonio has got the opportunity now to really...
stamp his legacy.
Yeah, and you know what? Looking at it for West Ham, to be honest with you, if they can get to a cup final this season,
That'd be great.
whether it be one of the domestic cups or the Europa League,
Yeah,
if like it would be amazing if they could bring home a trophy.
definitely.
Because it would justify all that their fans have been through, from the move to the new stadium. Obviously, the owners, the stuff they've been through, with
All the
people,
abuse they've got.
everything.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like they
Yeah.
don't have them necessarily the financial power of other owners, but they try to do things in a way which they think makes sense. You know?
I honestly feel that if David Moyes had that Tottenham team, they were winning trophies with the squad that they have.
Well, he was at Man United, so
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
But the difference is when it was at Man United, there was a massive pressure. Sir Alex Ferguson has been there for a long time.
It's a fair point.
And the players that won the league that season, no disrespect to them, they were average team that won the league that season. They were
Yeah,
average.
it was a Ferguson tax on top that got them over the line. So
It was an average team that won that league. You remember that team?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, players like Tom Cleverley, them man. Come on, man.
Players on
Fairs.
them, yeah.
I feel that if David Moyes is a Tottenham manager, he would definitely win something with Tottenham. With that team, they got Kane, they got Son, they got. But to be honest with you, West Ham, they're going places, and I feel West Ham is a better team right now than Tottenham.
you think West Ham's better team than Tottenham? So what
Yeah.
happens now with Tottenham? Like, I guess the big question is like, what happens with their squad? Do you feel like? Because I think Kane needs to move on.
Yeah,
Because it's clear that it's not so much that he's outgrown them. But his vision for what he wants to achieve now is bigger than what they can achieve
Yeah.
at this point in time.
and he's
You know.
not getting any younger as well. He's 28, 29 now.
And
So
his ankles aren't
His
what they
ankles,
used to be.
playing up.
And how he plays as forward is very different to how he used to. So even then, if he was to move to Man City, I think he'd have to change his game again to go back to what he used to do, which is kind of stay higher up the pitch rather than keep
definitely.
dropping
And
down.
I don't think Guardiola would want them to drop. He wants his strikers to be up top all the time. Stay as a focal.
Stay
I don't
there.
like when Kane drops. I don't think he suits him.
He does it for England. It's frustrating when he does
He
it for
hasn't got the
England as
range.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
got the range for
Euros
it.
was annoying.
He doesn't have the range for it. So like,
But Matthew said something before, and I think we should talk about that one about Spurs players.
all right.
I think we should drop it. You should drop it.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah. I'm not afraid. I'm not
so
afraid.
what's your take on Spurs players then?
Well, here's the thing. So, first of all, Craig says they got a better team. I think they got a better cohesion. I don't think West Ham have got better players. I think they got better cohesion right now. They're singing the Moyes song right now. So that's why they're able to do what they're doing. Secondly, if we're talking about, we're talking about a thing about assets. Tottenham's asset is Harry Kane. As for the rest of the players, I said this, and I realize how controversial it is, but I got my reasons. I look at someone like Son, like Song Hoon, whatever they call him.
Son Heung-min.
Song Heung-min, yeah, Song Heung-min, there you go. I keep calling him Son and kidding my team. Good player. Good player. He's been a good Premier League player for many, many years. He will be one the streets will remember in the future. So the way that we talk about players from back then, the kids will talk about him in the future. Yeah? He's one of them players.
Yeah.
He ain't won the trophies, but he's a great player. He scored some important goals. And someone I think you can kind of rely on. I think if he played Champions League and Kane didn't, I think Tottenham win. That being said, I don't think he's a big, massive asset. I don't think in the Premier League right now, in the bigger clubs, I think we would have him, but we're not paying the money that they think the Tottenham want. Then we're not paying the money that Tottenham want. If you were Daniel Levy, how much would you sell Son for right now?
Well, if Kane they want 150 or something like that, I think Son
80. 70, 80.
probably because he's won games on his own for them. I think I think 80, 90, because he's what, 26?
No, he's 27, 28.
He's not far off Harry
Yeah,
Kane.
it's 28, I think he is.
Can you justify your as one of the bigger clubs? Let's say I don't know a Liverpool. I know he would be great with Liverpool because the style of attacking style that he has. Would someone like Liverpool throw that kind of money into someone like him?
I think
Liverpool wouldn't, because they don't do business like that.
They don't.
So they wouldn't.
Man United would though.
I don't. Chelsea wouldn't. Not anymore.
Man United would throw money at
They wouldn't
anybody.
go-
Man United could, but I don't think he would necessarily fit what they're trying to do. Because again, he's another player that needs to play on the left, and you've already got Rashford. Sancho's better on the left.
Yeah.
He can play on the right, but his
Sancho's
best
more fitted on the
performances
left.
is on the
Yeah,
left.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's, you kind of overload him.
Yeah.
And you got Greenwood as well.
And
Can play
yeah,
anywhere,
Greenwood
so,
too. He's
yeah.
up and coming.
I
youngster.
honestly feel that like Sonia could play in any of the top 4 teams in the Premier League. He would definitely get to any of the top
He
4 teams.
could, but
he
would-
definitely would. He could get into the starting 11.
Maybe
hands down.
maybe I'll be the word indifference.
Yeah.
He could,
Hands
but,
down in their starting 11 of all the top 4.
but
He
would
could- yeah.
but would we buy him? Would we?
Look at Chelsea's front three, and wouldn't he fit? He will fit in there. Lukaku, Son on the left, and who plays on the right for you lot?
Well, can't have
Son's 29 now.
That's what I'm saying. So
Havertz
yeah.
can do it. Werner can do it. Well, Werner can play either way.
Yeah, so imagine you have a front three of
Son,
Lukaku, and Werner. That's your front three. Or you can even put Mount on one wing.
Mount one, yeah.
That front three would be that would destroy the league.
that would actually be very. It'd be very. I mean, that would be very prolific.
Even if you put him in a Liverpool team, you could take out Mane, you could take out Firmino, you could play Son through the middle, or you could play Salah through the middle.
I would not play Salah through the middle.
Or you can play Salah on the right, Son through the middle if you have to, or you can play Son on the left, and you can play either Mane or you can play Firmino or you can play Jota through the middle. So you got that would be a good option.
So he walks into it, but
Yeah.
he still it's a case of the purchase price right now. 5 years ago, absolutely.
I know, but he's aging. I know what you mean. He's aging now. Yeah.
That's why maybe I lost translation. Right now,
It will be hard to justify £90 million for Son Heung-min
Yeah,
right now.
for someone who's going to be almost 30, he's going to be 30 next year.
especially
now.
how we
Yeah.
treat our youngsters now.
Yeah.
A lot of the big money, big time players getting those chances. More youngsters are getting more chances, and not just in this country. There's other countries,
And
as well.
He's 30 next July.
He's 30 in July.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he goes to like I don't know
Bayern
Serie
Munich.
A or Barca or something.
I think he could go to Bayern Munich. He'd be good at Bayern Munich.
where the pace is just a little bit slower.
Yeah,
Because the Premier
Germany,
League is
yeah.
it's
Maybe
hard.
Bayern Munich or Dortmund.
I think he's still got 3, maybe 4 years at the top.
Yeah.
I think he can do 3 years at Premier League.
And he's always
Really
he's
high
always fit
players.
every week. He doesn't really have any. He hasn't had a serious injury, so I think he should be fine.
He's the unsung hero at Spurs.
Yeah.
He's Samwise to Harry's Frodo. That's what he is.
I just feel my honest opinion. I feel he's wasted at Tottenham. I think he needs to go to a better club. That's my honest opinion. I think he's wasted at Tottenham.
Was that Kane?
No, Son.
We both might go.
I mean, I think they both could move on.
both
Whether they'll, but I honestly think January could be very interesting for that club.
Yeah.
Because you look at those two players, those are key assets, and looking at their age profile, looking at how the team is going, it's unfortunate for Nuno because I think he's a good manager. I just think it's unfortunate that the signs were there with
Mourinho.
no, well the signs were there after his second season in Wolves when he started to struggle.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at that
League as
in
well.
Europa League, and you kind of look at that and think, okay, there's a pattern here that could be exploited by other teams. And so the fact that he's having a bad time with Tottenham is not all that surprising. For me,
Because he's got Conference League as well and all the other competitions. Wait, are they still in the Carabao Cup, Spurs?
I think they are. I think they're playing tonight. I think they still are. They're playing Burnley tonight. They're playing Burnley tonight. Yeah, they're playing Burnley tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still in the FA Cup because that starts in January.
But I honestly feel that with Nuno, I feel like he came into Tottenham with a problem. In the summer, Kane wanted to leave. He never got the move. So he's got that problem lingering over his head. I feel like for what would have been better for him in the summer was to sell Kane. Sell Kane for how much they wanted for him and rebuild the team. Get like 5 or 6 decent, good players with the Kane money and then rebuild for the season. Now he's got Kane and Kane is like not happy. You can see in his body language and the way how he plays. He's not happy.
He's not happy.
So there's no point keeping an unhappy player if they're not happy. It doesn't work.
But at the same time, as an owner, you want to maximise your value of your asset. So it would be wrong of us to say that he should sell Kane when the clubs that want him will not pay the price that he wants for them. I think he's right to demand the price he wants.
Yeah, he's right to demand the price he wants here. But if he's destroying team morale or team harmony, then you have to just say, you know what, we've got to cut our losses on him. I suppose he's almost 30 as well. So how much longer do you keep a player that's unhappy and a player that you're going to lose value in a couple of seasons? His value is going to go down. After he hits 30, his value is just going to go down.
Daniel Levy's.
So I would rather, if I was a manager and a player was unhappy, didn't want to play for me, I'd just say, you know what? Thank you for everything you've done for me. Let's find a solution and let him go. He's done a lot. He's a Tottenham legend. If he leaves tomorrow, he's still a Tottenham legend. Not like he's not a Tottenham legend for what he's done for the club, but he wants to win trophies. And Tottenham are not in the position right now to win trophies. I don't know how long it's going to take them, but they're not in a position right now to win anything.
Let's be honest.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Ever been in a situation to win trophies, barring the Carling Cup a couple of years ago,
and the Champions League final, but they're not going to. They're not going to be Liverpool. They're not going to be. They're not going to be Liverpool in that final.
If it was Manchester City, maybe.
Yeah, but not Liverpool.
Maybe we might have all had to have gone to like an all-night vigil, and you know what I mean. We might have all had to have fasted for a good 2 months prior to that game. Yeah, because you never know with Pep. You just never know. But with Liverpool, never.
Liverpool had that in the bag. They had that in the bag. That they patterned Liverpool. They patterned Tottenham still.
Played right into their hands. Man.
Yeah.
And speaking of another team that's very good at patterning teams, nice, comfy 7-0 win at home for the Chelsea. No strikers, no problem.
Matthew's just like, yeah.
Let's talk about those 7 goals. Obviously midweek it was really concerning the fact that you lost both Lukaku and Werner in the same match. A game that, to be honest, neither of them probably should have played in.
No, I didn't need to.
But Kai Havertz playing as a false 9. He's clearly showing that what he did in the Champions League final was not a one-off. It's something that he's got in his locker. Mason Mount going up I say going up a level. It is Norwich, so we have to we have to temper everything with the opposition. However, you can only beat what's in front of you. Statement says you got a hat trick. His first one. I think it's his first one now.
First senior one, yeah.
And a very good hat trick. Obviously, the penalty, the double take. That was it. Takes a lot of nerve and that kind to be able to take it again after having it saved, and to put it close to where you put it, like around the middle it takes a lot of nerve. But I think he had a really good performance. For you, how do you feel now looking at your team and as the season's pairing on?
You took the words out of my mouth with no strikers, no problem. And again, in retrospective, it is Norwich, but like you said, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think it's addressed the criticism and the problem I've had with Tuchel since he's been there. We never really seem to want to kill off games apart from like a 2 or 3-0. That weekend was so different. So I think what it was, because losing out those 2 strikers get room for a lot of players who deserve to start but turned to be out on the fringe. So players like Hudson-Odoi, players like, even Havertz now that Lukaku's arrived, he's almost doesn't really get a look in. So even in our midfield players like Barkley came in, Loftus-Cheek got 2 assists. So it shows that what we have, like we're going to be absolutely fine. We've got so much in reserve, and certain players like even Kante Kante, Werner, and Lukaku weren't even there through injury. So it just shows you how deep our squad is, and how much quality we have going forward and in the midfield. I mean, those players there, I think, had a point to prove. Whereas, like, I want to be part of this, or at least feel like I'm being part of this for the time that I am here. So especially when players like Barkley came on, he had a crack. When Loftus-Cheek came on, he got an assist. He wanted a crack as well. Hudson-Odoi, the defense, the jury is out. The fence is, it's on the fence sort of thing. He got out a bar from the own goal. He got a goal as well, playing his part. And of course, Mason Mount, he's not a fringe player, but he's come back from, I think from injury, just having rest. And he's got a very good, well-deserved hat trick, and then the well-deserved man in the match display. So yeah, it just shows you again. I mean, another team will be more testing. It is only Norwich. So, but it was just good to see those players play their part, not drop their heads, just come in and be like, let's justify why we are here and let's be part of this project, because you're European champions looking to go for the Premier League. You're going to have to come up with things like this where you will have 2 big players out for a time. So let's show our mettle. Let's show to the rest of the league that even without our big stars up front, you've still got a whole other list of players you got to get through if you're going to beat us. So
and I think a mark of a great team is the fact that you scored goals throughout the game. I remember we all remember the famous Brazil-Germany World Cup game when Germany in Brazil absolutely demolished them. But then they took their foot off the gas in the second half. Said, we'll go easy on you. We're not going to murder you at home. Like, we've killed you. We could murder you to the point where you don't want to play football anymore. But then they stopped. And I feel like with this game, you guys didn't do that. You murdered them.
No,
You just murdered them.
we needed to send out a statement where we are a part of this. So even if I know a lot of people still don't fancy us to do it, but we're gonna make you change our mind. Change your mind. We're gonna earn our keep on that table.
And even if you don't change your mind, we're still here. What are you gonna do about it?
We're still here.
Like, beat us.
Yeah.
If you want us to go beat us.
Come on, we barely concede. We've only lost one game. We're strong at the moment. I just want to add on one point. All the players that scored were all British. They're all English. All the scores are English.
That's true.
And players like Mount, players like Hudson-Odoi, players like
James, all from the academy.
James, all from the academy. So clearly, what we've been saying as Chelsea fans for a long, long time from our talent foundry is that it works. You only have to look at our team and other teams in the league to believe that. So yeah, we don't normally just have to spend big money. We got our things in reserve. So yeah.
But to be honest with you, Matthew, it took you a lot of years to put the young players in though. Because you used to have so many young players and you end up loaning them and selling them. So I think now I think that transfer ban kind of was a blessing in disguise for you though, when you had to play the youngsters.
Wait, we still finished in the top 4 and we got to a cup final.
But I mean, you had to in the end. Eventually, you had to start playing them because before in the past you would buy them, they'll win all the youth trophies. And when it comes to them getting to the first team, they never played. So something had to give in the end where they had to know what. Let's give these young players a chance and see what they can do.
With some more experience,
with experienced players ahead of them.
Imagine he plays as a young kid like your Masons, your Hudson-Odoi. No, Tammy's gone, but someone like him as well, and Reece. And you're looking at players like Aspilicueta. You're looking at players like Lukaku. You're looking at players like Werner. You're looking at players like Kante.
Yeah.
Big time pros. Who been around.
Jorginho as well.
Jorginho. Euro winner, Champions League, Europa League winner. Those are the kind of players that you're playing around, and I just think it's just that. I think as we've now got we've almost achieved that perfect balance of having that youthful energy and that enthusiasm, along with wise older heads who know when to tell them
My honest opinion, I feel like Reece James will be England's first choice right back in the future. He's a very good player.
I don't think that.
I think he's a very good defender.
I think he will be up there. I don't think we could definitively say he will be their first choice right back. I do think that
I think it's between him and Trent.
Him and Trent. He offers more defensively right now. But you can't deny what Trent does offensively is more than what James does.
If you compare both,
I only say that because as a fullback, in as much as the goals that you get, when you chip in every now and again is good. Primarily, it's the volume and concentration of chances that you create, and no one can deny that Trent, as a right back, creates so many chances for his team.
If I was a manager, I'll play Trent right wing. I wouldn't play him right back because
like a wing back.
Yeah, because I feel personally he's very good at set pieces.
But we have so many good midfielders to shift to a 3 at the back to accommodate.
We have lots.
I think
Southgate did that. Southgate did it in a game recently. He played him on the. I know.
Talking about Gareth Southgate, come on now. He has the job, but let's. When a serious manager takes over the England job, that's not knocking Southgate. I think he's done a great job.
He's done great.
But the Euros, it was there.
It was there.
I don't care how good Italy is. I don't care. It was there.
For them
it was on our own patch. Bring it home, mate.
Yeah.
No, you bring it home. The trophy don't leave the country.
Nah.
It's Brexit. It stays.
By any means possible. You hear that? Any means.
It stays. That's
any means necessary.
Nah, so close, yet so far.
What's the next game we do?
But it just goes to show like how well, when you have a good project and when you build and invest in things, it can all come together. And speaking of projects, of course, for us at Arsenal, it's been a very topsy-turvy time.
Yeah.
We have gone from Arteta out to Arteta we'll see to I feel like we're in the phase now. Not saying that we're fully supporting him.
Yeah.
Not saying we want him out either. It's just like, slowly, quietly. I think that the frustrating thing looking at it as a fan is that we have to chalk this down as another development season.
I know.
And the reason why I say it's frustrating is because that's what last year should have been.
Yeah.
And it feels like we've got another season where we're going to have to ride out these ups and downs. You know, we had the draw against Palace at home. Absolutely disgraceful performance from the team. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
We scored the first goal and thought, all right, that's it, lads. Let's have a holiday. Who wants to go shisha? Who wants to go to Essex? Who
Not
wants to
Palace.
Like,
Not Palace, they're on the ball.
but then at the flip side for Crystal Palace, that's 2 games in a row now where they can see the equals are late.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Vieira needs to get those strikers firing because they just don't score enough goals for the chance they create. But for us, we're on a good upward turn. Arteta learned his lessons from the previous game, scored the first goal, went again. We brought in Lacazette. How important do you think it's going to be now for Arteta to make these right choices early and to try and get the team to play with this level of enthusiasm week in, week out?
I feel because we have no European football this season and we're only in cup competitions, we've got more time to prepare for matches. I honestly feel that he needs to like kill games off quickly. Like how Chelsea were ruthless against Norwich. Like if we play at Newcastle or someone like that, we have to be ruthless. We can't be playing, or we've got Leicester on the weekend, so we have to be ruthless. Like if we go 1 up, go for the second, go for the third, go for the fourth. Just be ruthless. Because
But speaking of that Leicester game, I feel like that could be the match which really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the season. Because we beat Leicester, then you're like, hold on a minute.
Taking me more seriously.
yeah.
Arsenal ain't quite as calamitous as we thought.
But I honestly feel that the one sign in the summer that's really helped us, that's transformed us, it's not a defender, it's the goalkeeper, Ramsdale. I thought he has just been exceptional for us.
Been fantastic.
His goals, he hasn't conceded a lot of goals for us. He keeps a lot. He's very good at communicating. The difference between him and Leno is that he's very good communicating. And when he's in goal, I feel more confident when he's in goal than when Leno was in goal. And I feel like he's very good with the back five and the defenders, including himself. And he's always telling players, go there, go there. And Leno wasn't really doing that. I don't know if it's because, I'm not sure, but he wasn't really, like, I don't think the defenders were confident with Leno in goal. I feel they're more comfortable with Ramsdale in goal, because Ramsdale's very, and I think one player's really impressed me as well is Gabriel. Since he's come back from injury, we've done so well. Remember the first couple we lost, he didn't play for the first 3 games he didn't play. And then 3 games we lost. As soon as he comes back, we start picking up results. I think he's been like, his English is improving now. He's becoming he's getting more and more better. And his impact is helping players like Ben White, helping the new right back as well, Tomiyasu, and helping Kieran Tierney. So I think that base of defence is solid. Coming to the midfield now, we've got Partey. I would say that we really need to look into get. I think we need to get another midfielder into play alongside Partey, just to solid it up a bit, make it more solid. And I think everywhere else is okay. I feel. And I think
Yeah. So the business we do now in January is going to be really important. What we do, like how our season progresses. I think right now he's setting the foundations quite well, because even in the game we had in midweek against Leeds, it was nice seeing Ainsley could come on and he had a very solid game in midfield, very simple, kept it tidy. But you can see that the squad options understand their roles, and we're starting to slowly see a bit of that. The performances being transferred across them, and people started putting the work that needs to be done. It's going to be quite interesting. Like, I guess for you, Matthew, looking at how Arsenal performing, obviously we still can't say Arteta's safe.
No.
I still think the pressure should be kept on him as long as possible. Like, keep the pressure on him. Keep it on him. Like, don't let him feel like he can just ease off the gas.
Get too comfortable, yeah.
But do you feel like there's enough signs for Arsenal fans to be like, okay, maybe now things are starting to kind of look up for us?
You have to take, I think you have to take it game by game, just because of the transition. I think this is the true transition. Now you've lost out on Europe, which was no disrespect, kind of a waste of time. You weren't competing in it. You weren't getting the best out of it. And it was just another fixture that you don't need.
To be fair, last season we should have made the final.
Absolutely. And you would have won.
You should have made the final.
You would have won. Absolutely, 100%. But if you did, and getting into the Champions League, do you feel like it would have been good for the way things are going?
No.
Would you maybe prepared a little bit differently?
No.
To be honest, we would have bought different players.
You would have, yeah.
I think we would have spent the same amount of money, maybe even more, but we would have bought different players. I think because we didn't get Europe, the profile of the players changed.
Yeah.
We
got good players though.
Well, I think some players wouldn't have been bought as a priority.
Yeah.
if we had made Europe, and other players would have left if we had made Europe.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference with it.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But you've two good games back to back. Aston Villa, which could have gone one way. Leeds, well, chaotic and unpredictable, could have gone another way. But I think you've dealt with them professionally.
We control. I think for both of these games, we controlled it really well. Different type of performances. I think the Villa game was a lot of energy, enthusiasm, pace, power, directness.
Smith Rowe.
Whereas the Leeds game, we had to kind of grind it through. But we didn't take our foot off the gas. And I guess the biggest difference is that a lot of the players aren't used to each other in the Leeds performance. But I liked to see that Leno had a few extra things in it. Some of his passing, I was like, oh, someone's been watching Ramsdale a little bit.
Maybe, you never know.
Tried a few different things.
Ramsdale's come in, he's now in new Premier League number one. He's maybe have to realise that maybe he's getting too comfortable, maybe have to fight for his position a little bit more. Maybe he has taken a few pointers from Ramsdale because he's come in and you haven't lost since he's been there.
Nope.
Since he's been between the sticks. And like you said before, when he was at Sheffield, when he was at Bournemouth, yes, he got relegated, but he had clowns in front of him defending him. He's clearly a good keeper. He can distribute. He's commanding. And I didn't realise that he's still very young.
Oh, yeah,
23 years old.
He's still very young. So
and he's vocal.
He's vocal.
Yeah.
Maybe
he's got for the next 15 years at least.
Maybe it's the northern in him, that up Yorkshireness.
Yeah.
Don't take no nonsense. Maybe that's what it. Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't know how good Gabriel's English is, but he knows when someone's annoying, especially when from Yorkshire. I don't know. Maybe just that. I would still take it from a game by game. I think you're right. Keep the pressure on him. Clearly, he thrives under the scrutiny of being like, you've got to do this. So let's pretend every game is you have to perform. Otherwise, this is going to happen. I think he performs best under that. If you can get past Leicester, though, you might see few more people starting to be like, I might be willing to give him a little bit longer than I originally thought. But he's not safe yet. I think you perform best when he's like that.
I'll be honest. I would even say that irrespective of where Arsenal finish at the end of the season, even if Arsenal make the top 6 at the end of the season, I would say that the most important thing will be to evaluate the season fully. Not just the final placing, but the underlying metrics in the games we've lost. So the City game, when they battered us, you can lose a match. That's fine. The way we lost that game, unacceptable. Same for United at the weekend. You can lose against Liverpool. It's no shame to get beat by Chelsea. But when you lose like that, when you can't even get it up, to fight,
you can't be bothered.
There's nothing there. It's just poor. And so I think that's going to be the key metric for Arteta, which will define whether he should stay on.
Do you think we can get top 4 this season? Because how far away are we from top 4 right now? I don't think we're that far away,
To get top 4, that's going to be.
I think if we had beaten Crystal Palace last week, we would have got top 4 and beat Aston Villa.
Well, I say that we're 1 point off top 4 right now.
1 point.
We're 1 point off top 4.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Everton, Man U, Spurs,
we're in
all
9th.
lost.
Yeah.
So we're in 9th with 14 points, same as Everton, West Ham, Man United. They're all on 14. Obviously, goal difference is a problem.
And who's in 4th place now?
Fourth place is Brighton with 15 points. Tottenham are 15 and 5th with -3, and then it's Liverpool 18, City 12, 20, and Chelsea 22.
That's what I'm saying. So if we beat Leicester on Saturday or whenever we're playing them, and then other results go away, we'll be in the top 4 in the weekend.
We've got the early kickoff on Saturday, 12:30 against Leicester away.
But you have to linger around. I think if you're wanting to get into that top 4, there's no guarantee that happens. You have to be lingering. You have to be there for pretty much most of the season. No more than being 3 points away.
If I was Arsenal, to be honest, looking at January, I would, and it depends on what happens with Nketiah, Lacazette, but I would look to make 2, maybe 3 signings in January.
Same.
I'd look for a goal scoring wide player.
Definitely.
But I'm talking. I'm not talking young. I'm talking experience. I want someone that's between 24 to 27.
Neres.
That age profile. Older, Ajax. Because it's like let's just. I would even be half tempted to have a cheeky bid for Wilfried Zaha.
I was just about to say that.
I know he's older than that because he's like 28, 29. But
he's got time.
But the benefit is, adding a player in our squad that on his own can win you games, that would be a game changer. Absolutely. So he's that. So that would be the first signing I look to make. Second signing I look to make will be a central midfielder to a player to play alongside Partey to bring it
Basuma or Ndidi.
Either that or going across to Lyon. They've got Guimaraes. You've got Lucas Paqueta, who could be an interesting option.
Or Tillemans is available because he's out of contract next season.
He is out of a contract.
So he might be able to get him for a cheeky.
Tillemans would be interesting. I don't think he has the athleticism for how we want to play our midfield, but I think in terms of what he would do creatively, he would replace Xhaka's offensive side of the game,
and he's a bit more quicker than Xhaka.
I would want more of a two-way player, but he would be an interesting option. And then with that player coming in, we sell Xhaka to Roma. Everyone's
Easily.
happy.
Yeah.
And the reason why there's no disrespect, I think Xhaka has done okay for the time he's been at the club. But let's be honest, since he's been there, we've not made Champions League. No. And I'm not saying it's his fault, but it's a direct correlation.
Yeah.
The type of player he is means he can't take us there.
No.
So it's time for us all to move on. You can say thanks for the memories, but goodbye.
We just seem to be ruthless. Like people like El Neni is out of contract and someone
I mean, look, you notice I didn't mention him.
Yeah.
I didn't mention him because as far as I'm concerned, he's gone anyway. Like, he's just there right now, but he's gone. So those would be the players I'd move on and get a goal scoring midfielder. And then the third option would be bringing in a striker.
Definitely.
And I say that's based on what happens to the other two. Because again, right now, I like that Lacazette's come back into the fold, and Nketiah he's adding more to his game. It's kind of weird because at one point I felt like maybe we can move on because he's just a poacher.
You're convinced he was out, he was gone.
Yeah, but he's added a bit more. He's become a bit more rounded. So you almost look and think, do we want to have a bit more of a look at him? But I don't know. Lacazette, I think the role Lacazette played it as a number 10, as a false 9/number 10 against Villa. That's his role now. He's not a striker through the middle anymore. He's a player to play off in that half space.
Yeah.
Like it's like when we had Ozil and Alexis in that 16-17 season.
Yeah.
When we had the game against you, beat you 3-0. And the way how those two, Ozil played really high up, almost like it was like the Bergkamp Henry 4-4-1-1 back in there. So that's the role I see of Alexandre Lacazette. And so we'll see how things go. I guess the last thing to close off with is let's talk about Norwich. It's a bit of a weird one for them this year because they just don't. They seem to just be so good for the Championship, and when it comes to the Premier League, they just can't put it together. I don't know what it is. Maybe they need to look. The manager needs to adjust his style of play to the league and kind of realize that I don't have the players to play the way he wants to play. But it just doesn't seem to quite work, and it is a bit concerning because they spent a lot of money this summer.
A lot of money,
but yet there's just no difference. For you, Matthew, looking at them, what would you say? What do you think they should do? Because I can't even say they should even fire the guy because he'll get them back up again.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do they need to do?
For some, you see before that Championship bullies, just up down.
They're Championship bullies. That's what they are.
Oh my! I don't.
They're too good for the Championship. Just not good enough for the
Premier League. I don't. It's such a weird conundrum to be in. I don't actually know what they can do.
I think honestly, I can help Matthew on this one. I think they just come for the Premiership parachute money and then go back up and down like a yo-yo. And then they'll come back. And it's like maybe what they need to do is like. I know in the summer they're going to lose. Max Aaron's is definitely going to go in the summer. If they get relegated, he's
Gilmore's
gone.
coming back.
Gilmore's going to go back to Chelsea.
Cantwell will go.
Cantwell's going to go. He's on a free. I think he's on a free in the summer. He's on a free transfer. So they're going to lose their core young players. Ben Godfrey went to Everton last summer.
Max Aaron's could go.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is. I think it's a psychological thing with them. I think they have got good players. I think in the Championship they can batter teams the way how they play. They can batter teams in the Premier League. Maybe they're one or two or three or maybe four, maybe five players, class players that can get them to the next level.
I mean, there was a point against Hugo. I'm not sure whose goal it was, but they lost the ball by the halfway line, and all you see is Daniel Farke on the touchline with his arms right out because where was the midfield? There was one guy I watched him. He was just jogging back. No desire to get back in position. It was like, what, bro? You may as well just fall on the floor and hold your ankle. Because what's the point? And I think that's the thing. Even when you're down the bottom, you need to have that. You need to have that fight. Love them or hate them. One thing you can't argue about Burnley is that at least they put up a fight.
Yeah,
they may not have the quality in.
But they'll make you work.
But they'll make you. And in Cornet, they've got a player who it looks like might be one of the bargains of the season because he's got that flair.
And he's banging in goals
and he's
for
getting
fun.
the goals for them. So he might be single-handedly helping to keep that club up, which might be to your disappointment.
Not really.
Brexit FC.
Not really. I don't. Everyone thinks I hate Burnley. I don't hate Burnley. It's just
It's a pain to get to as well.
It's a pain to
The
get to.
stadium
I
is
mean,
just
to be honest, Craig,
pain to get to.
you've mentioned them as relegation candidates from the start of this podcast.
But ever since the relegation candidate, they know what they are. So I'm just stating the obvious facts in there. I'm not being harsh. So Sean Dyche will come to the season. He knows that. You know what? This season we're gonna struggle. We have to try to avoid relegation. That's what their aim is. They're not gonna get Europe, so their aim is to avoid getting relegated. So what I'm saying is honest facts. You can call Burnley right now. Call Sean Dyche and say to him, "Is what Craig's saying on this true or false?" You say, "Yeah, he's right. What he's saying." He would agree with me.
I ain't got his number. I ain't got his
I
number.
got his number,
We ain't got his number.
but he will agree with what I'm trying to say. We're a team.
I don't think he'd agree with you.
He will agree with
No one's
me.
going to agree that the team's a relegation fodder. But what I will say though is like, as a last thing to say, of course, like a lot of games coming up this weekend. Newcastle, Chelsea. Again, it could be a weird bogey split.
Charity
City,
FC.
Crystal Palace. That should be 3-0 win, a home win rather for City. Liverpool, Brighton. Again, that should be no 3 points. I think the biggest game of the weekend is going to be. I think there's 3 actually. You got Norwich City, Leeds, massive game for both
massive
clubs.
game.
Arsenal, Leicester.
We've got but I'm putting that in a different category. That is a big game for us, but you could go away. Burnley, Brentford,
That's a big game.
big game for Burnley. Watford, Southampton.
Watford, all
Because
that.
again, there's teams that need these
Ranieri,
points on the
yeah.
board. But of course, the biggest game of all, which could be the sack derby, is Tottenham versus Man United. I mean, we could end the weekend with one of them gone.
Maybe both.
And like, I'm hoping that Man United can just turn it on and get a nice win.
Where Tottenham play?
Fresh Tottenham
Where
at
Tottenham?
home. At home.
Old Trafford.
No,
Tottenham Stadium.
Okay. I don't know if United's got a good
I
record
don't
there
know.
recently. I'm not sure.
Even if between the two of them, I think the one most likely to go would be Nuno. I'm absolutely 100% because they've already confirmed their allegiance to Ole anyway, and I just don't think there's that kind of Nuno.
But it's not the dreaded.
No, I've heard online that he's got 3 games to win. He's got 3 games to save his job. Ole.
Who, Ole?
Yeah, he's got 3 games to save his job. He's
said
got Tottenham, Atlanta, and I think Man City. If he loses any of them games, he's out.
Yeah, but they probably said that last year. They always say he's got 3 games to do, and they said that last year. He's still here. He is still here.
But you know, Man United don't really like sacking their manager. Though. They're
Wait, sack Mourinho.
He was rubbish. That's why.
Compared to
Compared to Ole, that's
he was
Hold on. But hold on. The difference between Ole and Mourinho is that Mourinho didn't win the Champions League in Man United. Ole did, so they hold on to
Mourinho won a
that.
treble.
Huh?
He won a treble.
He won a treble and he won 2 trophies.
He won a treble.
With who?
With Man United.
What you mean? What the Europa League,
He
League
won-
Cup,
he
and Charity
won
Shield?
3 competitive competitions,
But
which
United fans-
ends with a piece of silverware.
But at the end of the day, Man United fans don't care about that. They care about their legends, innit? They don't care about them winning 3 trophies with Mourinho. They didn't like Mourinho
Well, you
anyway.
know what?
people that.
I'm very intrigued to see how this all plays out, and we're going to find out exactly how it all goes at the weekend, and we will see whether Ole has enough to stay at the wheel, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Okay.
That's it for us today. And if you're listening online, do rate us on iTunes, leave us a comment, and also reply to the poll. Do you feel that on Spotify? Do you feel that Tottenham have no valuable assets in their club? Just reply yes or no and let us know what you think. This is us signing out. See you next week after Ole gets that win and stays at the wheel.